intelligence centers. Everything they've got is being prepared for this attack, and the Arabs are getting very cocky. Well, Syria is promising Israel that it won't win the next war, and Hezbollah is promising the Arabs that the region's order will be changed after the next war, and they've got a lot of good reason to be very confident because Israel can't survive a massive rocket attack. It had a minor rocket attack, it turns out, in the summer of '06, a crummy 4,000 rockets over 34 days cleared out all of northern Israel. Anyone with a car headed south slept on beaches. If they were lucky, they found a hotel. Israel lost the war in the summer of '06 with a crummy 4,000 missiles over 34 days. Wait till they see 10,000. These have got chemical and biological warheads, and Barak has stopped deployment of gas masks. Israel's a sitting duck. Now let's go back to Juan Carlos, and let's go back to Spain, because if people don't understand, well, Juan Carlos is going to get his kingdom back. The Vatican has been pushing Israel to give all its properties, a status of mini-states, non-taxed, non-police, the works in Israel, and Israel has been, because basically the people find it an atrocity that there are sites in their country that are diplomatically not in Israel. Israel has not given in, but nonetheless they've got people working for the Vatican in the Israeli government, the highest being the president of Israel, Shimon Peres, who is simply a spy for the Vatican. But again, with this background, let's see what Juan Carlos did before he got to Washington. Juan Carlos went to Lebanon. That's what he did. And now, officially, if you read the reports, he was there to inspect the troops. Now, to remind anyone who doesn't know, and that's probably everyone listening here, after the war in the summer of '06, a conference was held in Rome. Hillary Clinton representing America, and in the conference, well, they decided that Israel and Hezbollah would be separated by United Nations forces, 80% of them from Southern Europe. They're from Spain and Italy, primarily, also France and Germany. They're the ones separating Israel from Hezbollah and supposedly preventing another outbreak of war. Well, Juan Carlos goes to Lebanon, and this is, again, what was it, 10 days, 2 weeks ago? It doesn't matter. It was before he arrived for his Obama visit. And we're told that he inspected the troops. Now, I don't know how many people have been to a military inspection, but that's really not news. The troops stand at attention. Oh, well, whoever is inspecting, in this case, Juan Carlos, if he sees, a shoelace undone, he'll stop and he will condemn the soldier and tell him to get an order, or he will say, well done, to a perfectly orderly soldier. It's a waste of time. What Obama would, again, I made that mistake, what Juan Carlos was doing was meeting the new commander of the UNIFIL forces. It is Spanish Commander Major General Alberto Asarta Cuevas is now running the forces that supposedly will stop a war between Israel and Hezbollah. Lo and behold, and lucky Spain, it's Spanish. The troops are 80% Catholic, and the leader, the commander, is a Spaniard. And what Juan Carlos was doing there was having negotiations with his army. the Spanish army ultimately on how not to interfere with the upcoming war. Now, again, if the UN really were a peace force, they would go and stop Hezbollah from shooting rockets. The Madrid Conference in 1991 was what the Arabs did. Well, they formulated their peace agreement on Madrid. Surprise, surprise. Next is Barcelona, which preceded Madrid, to achieve the Euro-Mediterranean cooperation, and what the Lebanese president reminded Juan Carlos was that it's Israel's intransigence and settlement building that has prevented this agreement, the Arab peace agreement, from being put in practice. Look, as for Israel building settlements, Hezbollah is Shiite. The West Bank is Sunni. The Shiites and the Sunnis despise each other. They blow each other to smithereens in Iraq. They could not care less than Hezbollah about Israel building settlements. They have equal animosity to the Sunnis. You have to separate this fight, and there's a big problem, certainly in America, that it's the Jews and the United Arabs and all the Zionists are the same, and the Arabs are on the same side. Nothing like that can be further from the truth. Hezbollah is Shiite. It's getting its missiles from Iran, which is Shiite. It's being trained in Syria is Alawite, which is, it's farther enough away from both Shiite and Sunni that they can act as sort of a neutral transporter of war. But Hezbollah has zero, and I mean zero, concern over Israeli settlements. None. So what Sleeman is claiming is that Israel's settlement building is the reason that peace has now not reached the Middle East is hooey. And by the way, those from the Middle East will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard this before, well, tough luck. That's the fact of the matter. The Hezbollah is Shiite and could not care less if the Sunni Muslims are being interrupted by settlements. More to the point, what Suleiman is saying is you got to get rid of Israel. Just outright, you're now the commander of the UNIFIL forces. You gave us the Madrid peace process that led to, well, he didn't say the atrocity of Oslo. I'm saying that. Well, now you've got to get rid of Israel. Enough is enough. We're sick of it. We had an agreement in Rome in the summer of '06. You are there in southern Lebanon dividing Hezbollah from Israel. The message is you don't stop Hezbollah from their war against Israel. If you don't do it, we won't do it. That is the message. And by the way, that's not heavy reading between lines. That's how you read all Middle East news. Michel Suleiman is a Christian. I don't know if he realizes the trouble he's in after this war, but he feels compelled to tell Spain not to interfere with the upcoming war. That's what this whole state dinner told Juan Carlos, as if we didn't know. And Juan Carlos tells the commander of the UNIFIL forces in southern Lebanon, we've got some plans. We'll get you out of there. Don't interfere with Hezbollah. In other words, the war, it's just being ironed out that Israel is going to be victimized by, my Lord, tens of thousands of weapons, of rockets with biological and chemical warheads. And in Israel, the defense minister, again, Ehud Barak, if you don't know the past,